Welcome to our final chakra class. Today we are going to talk about the crown chakra, which is our connection to spirit, as well as our third eye, which is one of my favorites. I think I said in the heart and the solar plexus that those were my favorites, and they are. But also, a lot of what I teach is on intuition. We have the intuition masterclass, or the whole course actually. And then I'll be creating an updated version of that this year, as well as something else to bring our intuition even stronger. So this is a very exciting chakra for me to talk about. And if you are practicing Reiki, or you receive Reiki, or even just working on your own spiritual energy growth, the crown chakra is massively important in that. So I'm excited to talk about that as well. So welcome. This will be a pretty short class, I think, and we'll just go over the basics of what are the chakras, what are some ways they can feel misaligned, out of aligned, and imbalanced, and then ways to bring them into more balance so that you get the benefits, and we'll talk about what that is too. So my name is Melissa. If you do not know me, hi, welcome. Welcome to anybody who's here live and on the replay. Lovely to have you in the space. So I work one-on-one with people mostly to really develop their intuition. And we do a lot of subconscious belief change work and removing of trauma and just getting back to the seat of who you are. We talked in the solar plexus, which is the chakra for the seat of who you are. We discussed how it's not really doing anything to change you, but rather it's removing things that are keeping you from being yourself. Using this motion, it's kind of like in Friends, where Phoebe's like cleaning out the aura. It's not exactly what I do, but it really does remove things from your energy field so that you're left with just your whole happy self. And part of your whole happy self is being naturally intuitive. Even if you don't think that you're intuitive or that you don't have that gift, trust me, and eventually trust your own intuition that you do have this. So I came from a place of not thinking I was any sort of intuitive at all. And now it's developed quite a lot. And I remember even the first couple times I used it with clients, I would be a bit nervous because it's kind of vulnerable to be like, hey, I see this in your energy. And they would be like, that's pretty accurate. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, maybe it's right. And I started with tarot readings too, where it was just fun and light, and would tell people like, hey, I don't know what this is going to be. And I was working at a retreat center. And I guess the story of this is just to let you know that you do not need to have an intuitive background, and you don't even need to think that it's working in the beginning, and it's all just practice. So it will lead to your intuition being quite strong. So I was working in a retreat center, and it was a turnover of clients every week. So it wasn't people who I knew very well, or like maybe just talked to them a little bit through yoga, but didn't really know anything about their lives outside of them being at the retreat. And so I started offering tarot sessions and would tell them like, hey, I don't really know how this is going to go. It's just like for fun. I'm just practicing. And so many of the times, if not every single time, was unbelievably accurate for what was going on in their life, which kind of surprised me. So your intuition is there, even if you're not aware of it. It's there. Trust me, it's there. It's talking to us all the time. And what we're going to talk about today in the third eye chakra is, well, maybe there's an imbalance in your third eye chakra that's keeping you from trusting it. So your intuition is going to talk to you all day long, no matter what. So our job then is to get quiet, listen, and then most important, trust it. So the past couple days, we've gone through the entire chakra system, starting at our root, which is our very broad base, and then shifting to sacral, which root chakra is our connection to earth, family. Sacral, our one-on-one connections, partnership, creation. And then solar plexus is our more narrowed connection just to ourself. How do we feel about ourselves? And then we went up through the heart chakra, which I really loved that class. And this is our bridge between the lower and the upper chakras. Heart chakra is vital because it really connects all the other chakras together. So if you're only going to choose one to work on, the heart would be the one to go with, as it will have the greatest impact on all the others. And then from there, we went to the throat chakra, which I think has a little bit trouble being visible on here. So we might redo that class to make it more visible. And that's really our connection to our own voice. Are we comfortable speaking up for what we believe in? Are we comfortable talking? And then from there, we're going to talk about third eye today, which is a section broader. Instead of just your voice being expressed, can you kind of see into what the rest of the world is doing? Your intuition can go very broad if you're using it from other people. And then crown chakra, very wide again, just like our root chakra base. This is our connection to your higher self, spirit, God, whatever you think of for your universal connection. You're really just looking for something greater than you. And it could even just be like honoring the earth. That could be a way to go with it as well. And then a lot of excessive thinking sits in the crown chakra too. So if you have anxiety or your thoughts are just like going, you find it hard to focus, you're distracted a lot, then this can be a crown chakra just a little bit too, I call it cluttered. We have too much stuff in our energy field, so that can happen there too. So let's start with the crown chakra actually. Crown chakra, when I do a Reiki scan, and even through the Zoom appointments, crown chakra is up here at the top of your head. And so it's really governing this entire area. And this is where I'll first check in with somebody's field. Due to a lot of the time, if we do have anxiety or excessive thinking, it'll be very heavy up here. And during Reiki, I want the person to be able to be calm and relaxed, really for their own benefit. It doesn't necessarily change the Reiki for me, but I just want them to have a nice, lovely experience. So we'll clear the crown chakra first. That way, any of that excess thinking can start to filter out. And so while I can't really teach you that here, we'll have to do it in a Reiki level 1 class. Otherwise, we'll be here for hours. So we'll save some of the stuff for another class. But what you can start to do is start to just get quiet. And this is why we did the 5-day meditation course, which is available to you all the time. And this is a way to start to tone down that excessive thinking. And what we learned in the meditation course is while it's so normal and part of the healing process to have a lot of excess thinking come up in a meditation practice, this is how it removes it from your actual crown chakra area. So if you're overthinking, and you can see this on studies, there's some brain mapping where they don't actually need to touch your head and they'll see your thoughts like out in the space. So your thoughts are out in the space around your head, which is kind of wild to think about. But so when you're clearing your energy field, you'll bump into the thoughts actually, and we can start to clear them out. We'll learn that in the Reiki class. But for now, we can use meditation to do it. And you don't even need to go into a full meditation. The 5-day course talks about how you can really just do 5 minutes a day, and this can be enough to clear the excess thoughts. But it's really important because whether you're trying to be focused at work or really present with your kids or have like this creative idea come in, anything that you're trying to have your mental clarity for or deeper connection with another person without being distracted in your brain or scrolling on Instagram a ton or ending up on Instagram without even realizing you picked up your phone, which just happened to me. It's so important to really start to have a quiet practice. If you think about the amount of information we get in one day, I forget entirely what it is, probably because I am on Instagram too much. I do like Instagram, but I try to limit the hours that I'm on it, especially in the morning and the evening, because it'll make you a lot more likely to be distracted. But there was something I read where the amount of information we get in one day, it was either one day or 1 week, but either way, it's wild, was more information than our ancestors got in an entire lifetime. So it's no wonder that our crown chakras have so many thoughts in it. We're getting bombarded with all of this information, whether it's good information we're trying to learn to advance our career, our own personal study, or it's just news or other people's pasta dishes, which I do enjoy seeing other recipes. I'm not saying this is bad, just to look at the amount of information and stimulus coming into your system all day long. And to start to think about how often, like be honest, and how often are you actually in a quiet place? So no music, no kids screaming, no TV, no audiobook, no sound therapy. And sound therapy is really great. I'm not saying these things are necessarily good or bad or right or wrong, but just that space to be quiet is vitally important. So important. I just saw somebody jump on. So hi, welcome. we're talking about the crown chakra and excessive thinking and how to clear this out. And so one of the main ways, whether it's through meditation or just a quiet space, is starting to look at in your day, at least a little bit every day, 2 minutes. If you could just do absolutely nothing. And then what I really like to do, I'll have a couple minutes a day or do a meditation, but then once a month, try to have an hour or 2 hours, or if you have the luxury of a full day where no TV, no music, no external input. And you'll start to notice how this actually can clear all of that excessive thinking. Because while you're having your no TV, no music, no talking, no being on the phone, no texting, no external input, your brain will probably be on overdrive thinking all of the things that we haven't given ourselves time to think about. So this is why it's really common when you sit down to start a meditation practice and you're like, okay, I'm going to be really quiet. Then boom, your brain is full of thoughts. And we think then we're not good at meditation because we can't quiet our mind. When in reality, your body needs the time to be quiet so that all of that excess thought can come up and out of your system. So when it's coming through your brain and we learn to just let it go, it gets out of your entire energy system. So that when you go back to your day or focusing with your kids or working on that creative project at work, your brain then has more clarity and you can get in the creative download. So when we get into the third eye, this is why we're talking about crown chakra first. When you get into your third eye and intuition, it's really hard to hear your intuition when we have so much mental clutter and excessive thinking going on. And again, it's not good, bad, right, or wrong. It just happens. I get in periods where I'm overthinking a lot too, or it's hard for me to focus. And then I'll look at, okay, well, why is this happening? Am I on my phone too much? Am I looking at late at night? Am I not taking time to meditate? Do I have that hour every now and then to be quiet? And I'll reinstall these practices. And then the excessive thoughts leave as they always do. And then your clarity comes back. So the biggest way you can help your own crown chakra is to find time to be quiet. 2 minutes a day is an amazing start. It doesn't have to be long, just 2 minutes, no sound. And if you want to try that after this video, you can just even set a timer on your phone for 2 or 3 minutes, make it a pretty song to come back to alertness to, but just 2 minutes just to be. For me, it's possible someone is distracting you if they're on your mind. If somebody is on your mind a lot, this is not a bad thing. That's okay. But still coming back to that quiet. And remember, if you're having thoughts pop up, you just let them pop up. And then if you have practiced meditation, or we have the 5-day meditation course, which goes into a lot deeper on how to let go of those thoughts, you could even just wrap it in a bubble. So you think of the person, say, oh, that's a nice thought, and then wrap it and let it go. And if she keeps coming back, no problem. You can find something to focus on with yourself, whether it's your breath or your body, to bring you back into the moment. And so you don't ever have to have the clear mind, but just the space so all those thoughts have a place to come up and out, if that makes sense. And then from there, once you do have a clear crown chakra, we'll call it, a clearer mind, more relaxed being, then your third eye, which is the next chakra down. This is our own guidance into our own soul and into our own life. And if you want to develop it, then you can start to use it for other people as well. So the way that I do in a Reiki scan, we'll do an energy scan if somebody's up for it, and we'll kind of look into each chakra and see where their priority is. And so that wasn't always a thing for me. It started with my own ability to use intuition for myself. And actually, it can start quite so simple to where you can ask yourself a question such as, is it in my highest interest to have tea or water right now? And whatever pops into your brain, then trust that as your intuition letting you know which one to go for. Or is it in my highest interest to make a smoothie or a salad, or whatever it is you're going for? And just kind of let your intuition, that initial thought that pops into your brain, speak to you, and then trusting it, even in the beginning, when you don't feel like you could trust it and you think it's your own mind, I almost referenced something that's not published yet. I'm currently writing a book on energy healing, and it goes over all of the intuitive ways and how to start to notice and see. So if you want to have access to this, I'll put a link in the bottom of this video to sign up for it for when it's ready. But this goes deeper into how to use your intuition. And then there's the intuition course, of course, too. But in the beginning, you don't need really anything other than yourself. And it's just, can I get quiet from the crown chakra? Once we're in a place of practicing being quiet a little bit every day, then come back to a simple question. Is it in my highest good to this or this? And let your brain choose. And a subconscious belief of, I trust my intuition, can work wonders. We've gone over how to balance these beliefs in a couple other the chakra videos, but I'll give you another really easy way to do it. Is very, very first thing in the morning, as soon as you open up your eyes, when you're still kind of groggy and tired, if you begin to say your statement, whatever belief you're trying to balance for, and remember, balance means your right and left brain are more in coherence, they work together. And this is what can create that new neural pathway will pop up in your brain. So it's your subconscious belief. When should we do this, morning or evening? So morning, both are really good. But if we're looking for that quiet time, it's a really good question. When we're looking for that quiet time, in the morning is the best time to do it. And so for the reason for this is whatever we do first thing in the morning is going to prime our brain for the rest of the day. So if we get up and we have a quiet couple minutes, it's going to prime your brain to be quiet for the rest of the day, to be calmer throughout your day, to be more focused throughout your day. Versus if we wake up and we get on Instagram, or we get caffeine in our system immediately, or we do anything else that's kind of making us jump around. We open up our email and we see 200 different emails of ads, and we're clicking through. And even if we don't read each email, just the input of information, we see the different companies and so many different things that we don't even necessarily register. And this is really where it gets powerful, because it's not necessarily what you're registering is what you see, but what your subconscious mind is taking in. So much information. And so if we look at this first thing in the morning, whether it's our email or TikTok or Instagram or whatever, then your brain is like, oh, this is our fast pace. This is how much information we need to register all day. And it's going to jump you so fast all day, thought to thought to thought to thought, and you'll get distracted, if this makes sense. So morning is the best time to do any kind of quiet practice. With that said, it's great no matter when. So if you can't do it in the morning, you've got a busy day, you do not have time, that's no problem. You can even do it in a midday break, or like 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. when you get that tired slump. That's a good time to have a quiet practice. Just let your body decompress, get all the excess thoughts out, just quiet down, and then go on with your day. At night is really good too. It's much better than looking at your phone before bed, just for the light and the amount of information too. So really whenever you can fit it into your day, but morning would be for sure the best way. Good question. Speaking of distracted, I forgot exactly where we were. So we'll jump back in with the third eye, and when we're talking about our own intuition and how to use it. So when we're asking these questions of, is it in my highest interest to do blank or blank? This is really where it begins to establish that subconscious belief. So when we were talking about how to program in this subconscious belief, this is another thing that is in the morning. And the very first thing you do in the morning, if you can repeat this statement, even before you open your phone, before you do anything, maybe right after you have your quiet time, if you do that first, but honestly, even right before, because what happens when we're asleep, we're in something called the delta brainwave. And then as we're waking up, before we're fully awake, we're in what's called a theta brainwave. And if you get into a really deep meditation, this is theta again. And I've talked about how you can imprint your subconscious beliefs at the end of a meditation because you're back in theta. But as soon as you wake up, you're in that theta state. So if you can say your statement, such as, I trust my intuition. It's easy for me to trust my intuition. I always follow and trust my intuition. Really, whatever wording you like, whatever resonates with you. The one that I did was just, I trust my intuition, and then poof, I did. It was really fun. But we can imprint these ourselves first thing in the morning when we're in that theta brainwave. And then once we're fully awake, we'll be more in alpha and beta, which is high thinking. If we have anxiety and stress, we're going to be in high beta, and we're going to feel a little bit wired or unsettled. But that theta brainwave is where we imprint our belief. This is why a lot of people can do affirmations, and they'll say their positive statement, they'll write it down, they'll be in their stress state like, oh, I just need to say my affirmations, and they'll be repeating, I love my life, I'm happy, I'm healthy. But they're doing it from that high beta state. So you can tell your conscious mind whatever you want all day long, but if it's not getting to the subconscious, it's not going to have deep of effect. So the subconscious belief change for intuition will help you massively trust your intuition. And this is what we do through belief change work in Psych K, what I do one-on-one with people, which is great if you want to go that route. But also you can do this on your own too. It's really, really possible if you're doing it in that theta brainwave. Wherever you feel really groggy, tired, this is your place. This is your place to imprint a belief, whether it's I trust my intuition or any of the other beliefs we talked about in the other chakras. You can do these. I would say no more than 2 at a time. You're going to say it every single day for about a month. And then by then it will just be ingrained in your subconscious belief. And you'll be able to practice with your intuition and keep it up of, is this in my highest interest or this in my highest interest? And keep asking questions between 2 options is the easiest way to go, and your brain will just pick. So I really like the water versus tea analogy. Or whatever you're deciding with. Should I have a shower or a bath? Should I go for a walk or a run? Should I do yoga or ride my bike? Whatever you're deciding between, let your intuition guide you. And the more you do this, your subconscious mind is going to notice that you're even doing this, and it will help solidify that belief that that's what you want. What we give our attention to, your mind will be on board to help you continue this. This is why another reason, if we're scrolling really fast through something in the morning, if we're giving our attention to it and we're doing that every day, your brain says, oh, wow, look at this fast pace. This is what you want all day. Okay, got it. Your brain wants to help you. We just need to give it really clear, good instructions on how to help. Versus if we wake up in the morning, we repeat our positive statement, whatever we're trying to imprint. I love myself. Life is good. I trust my intuition. I'm calm and have a clear mind. There's so many statements you could do. It's my favorite thing to come up with them. But for these 2 chakras, third eye and crown, I trust my intuition. I have a calm, clear mind. Where I am connected, if you're working on connecting up to something higher. And then maybe we have 2 minutes of quiet. Now your brain is going to notice, oh, the first thing this person did is look for something positive, something good about themselves, and they got quiet. So this is what they want to feel all day. They don't want to feel the stress and anxiety. They don't want to be reminded of doom news all day long. They want to feel at peace. And I know that sounds very simplistic, but this is how it happens. Your subconscious mind is always, always trying to help you. We just need to update the information that it has. And one of the ways to do that is through practicing with all these different chakras we've been talking about all week. And in particular, third eye, learning to trust ourselves. And once we start with the silly things like tea or water, I can move to bigger things. Like what job is best for you? What partner is best for you? Anything that you have a decision between, your intuition will let you know what is your best interest, which is really fun. And then the crown chakra too, the more open and clear it is, the more you'll feel connected to something higher. And so this is really a choose your own adventure of whatever your own beliefs are in. So learning, or not even learning, but starting to get curious about, well, what do you believe and why? And why is it important to you? And starting to create a bigger connection with that. And a lot of the people who I work with, I mean, I love working with everybody, but then lately it's been a lot of Reiki practitioners, which is really fun. And so when we're learning Reiki, whether you're wanting to learn Reiki or you do practice Reiki, either way, that connection to your Reiki energy is really important. And so the clearer we have our crown chakra, the easier that Reiki line and energy can come in. And when we learned in the 5-day meditation course how to do Reiki on yourself, even without the Reiki certification, you actually do not need that. Reiki just means universal energy. So it's available to anybody. And so you can tap into that energy at any time. And the clearer our crown chakra is, the easier it will be. And it's kind of like this circle that just keeps helping, because also the clearer our crown chakra is, the easier the Reiki energy comes in. But the more we practice with the Reiki, the clearer our crown chakra will stay. So it's kind of like this cycle that keeps helping and helping and helping, which is really fun. So learning to trust, innately trust yourself, saying that statement first thing in the morning, finding a few minutes every day to be quiet, or once a month, have a full day if you can manage it, or even like an hour or two where there's no other inputs coming into your system. These will help balance and open up through these 2 chakras. And if you're doing all of the things we've talked about all week through all of your chakras, and you don't have to do them all at once, maybe pick one chakra a week and really work on it. You'll notice over time, your energy starts to be more vibrant. You have more energy. Maybe you don't need the coffee in the morning. Your mind is clearer. Maybe even your headaches go away. Who knows? But the more we can bring our own system into balance and look at the emotions that are blocking, there's not a lot of emotions blocking the third eye and crown, which is a nice chakra to work on. But in some of the lower chakras, we talked about how they can be very emotion-based. So when we're looking at all of this is what starts to bring our energy to flow really easy. And I'm doing this motion because when we think of the Kundalini energy along your spine, it just kind of spirals up, and then that gives you more energy. And the more we have more energy, the more we can give out to someone else. We've talked about this a lot before too. If you care about other people and you really want to help somebody else, we can't pour from an empty cup. So it's so important and imperative to take care of yourself first, which you're doing by watching and being with this video. So appreciate your time and energy towards giving this time back to yourself. Yeah. If you have any questions about the third eye, crown chakra, let me know, or any of the other chakras too. I'll check on the throat chakra. I'm not sure if it's on YouTube, but I'll make sure it's on there before the end of today. All the other chakras are good to go. And yeah, the only thing we have left for July is next Tuesday on the 26th. We're doing a morning meditation, same time as this was, 9 a.m. Pacific time. And then I'll round out our July classes. So thank you so much for being here, and hope you have a beautiful rest of your day practicing with your intuition. And remember, your challenge is to right now, whenever you finish this video, 2 minutes, just quiet, just be, and then reach out. Let me know how that goes. Have a wonderful day.